Okay, hey ladies, how's everyone doing? I hope everybody's having a good day, a good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. I hope that it is good. And so, this evening, you know that I'm here because of the palette tag, I guess is what it's called. So I've seen a few makeup artists and influencers who have been on YouTube doing their palette tag, which is basically you talk about certain things in your palette collection. So I thought this was good because my palette collection is kind of small, so I didn't want to do a collection because compared to others, I don't meet that in any way, shape, or form. But I do have some palettes that could answer the questions that are in the palette tag. So I first started watching YouTube with Lily Living Life, and Lily is good friends with Colorful Camille, so I started watching her, and then I found out that they had a third friend, Just Peachy D, I believe is what her name is, and so she was the one who I saw with the palette tag. So I tagged myself since I'm new to YouTube, and I could answer some questions, and then maybe you could get to know more about me and see where I'm coming from and what some of my likes, dislikes, etc. using the palette tag. So if that sounds like something that you would like to see, then just keep watching. Okay, I have my notes. I have my drink to keep my throat moisturized so that I don't cough like I was doing earlier today. So this is the palette tag, and basically I'm going to answer the questions that go straight down the list, and I will start with my newest palette. So as of June 7th, which is today, my newest palette is the Too Faced Natural Matte palette. I just got this in my May BoxyCharm premium box, I believe, and those are the colors. Very natural, nude shades. When I first saw this palette, I was a little upset because I love color. If I don't have color, I don't feel like it's done. And so I was a little upset, but then the other day I had a bold red lip and I didn't want to do a lot on my eyes, so I used this and I love it now. It also smells really good. It kind of smells like cocoa. It smells good. That's all I know. It smells good. So that is my newest palette. Now let's go to my oldest palette. I don't know where, I'm not sure. I think I just went to the store to pick up this palette. Oh, here it is. This is an Urban Decay palette from, I don't even know when. It's got this velvet cover, and it had this shimmery, and I just wanted a palette. I don't even remember how much I spent, but this was the first palette that I purchased. I had been watching YouTube, watching people do makeup on YouTube. That was back in 2012, I believe, 2011, around that area. And so I went to Sephora and I picked up this palette. I do not use this palette anymore. I'm just afraid it'll make my face break out. It's very, very old, and I really just keep it for sentimental values, just kind of like where I first started. And I always liked this little shiny thing here, and it came with a primer. So that's when I first started understanding using eyeshadow primers and how that helps you. So this was my first palette, and I'm keeping it for sentimental values. So from the old to new. Now I'm moving on to my most expensive palette. As I said, I don't remember how much I spent on this. I don't think it was a lot because back then people weren't like running to the store to get palettes that hadn't like hit yet. So, to date that I can think of, my most expensive palette is my gingerbread palette, my Too Faced gingerbread palette, and I love the way it smells. Still has that good smell. This is about 2 years old, I believe, and it was my first palette that I said, you know, I'm going to find an expensive palette higher end to see how those eyeshadows compare to what I had at the time. I had a lot of Maybelline eyeshadows and just whatever I picked up at the drugstore, and I believe I paid $39 or $49 for this, and I've used it. I won't say I never used it. I did use it, especially when I first got it, and I cried because this was their shiny, sparkly. That was like when they were starting to put those pressed glitters in, and that broke when I dropped the palette. Like, I think I dropped it the day I purchased it. So, but other than that, I've loved it. I'm going to hold on to it. I still use it every now and again, but that was my most expensive palette that I paid for at $39. My most affordable palettes are these Beauty Glazed palettes by, I'm sorry, let me say that again. These are dupes of the Huda Beauty, and these are Beauty Glazed palettes. I got these probably on Amazon or eBay or something like that. Purchased them at different times. This one was probably like, I don't know, $4 or $5 maybe. Performs very well. I don't have the Huda Beauty ones to compare them to, but I like them. I was into, well, I'm always into blue, so that's why I picked this one up. And then this palette is Mint, and I got this on AliExpress. AliExpress, I don't know how you say it, but this is the Mint palette, and they both perform very well. I like them. Just something to pick up. I was looking for green, so that's why I got this one, even though it didn't have as much green in it as I thought it was going to have. But anyway, that's those. Let's see, moving on. The palette for everyday. I don't really have an everyday palette. I don't even have one that I reach for more than others, I guess is the best way to say it, because I love color and I love different. If I had to use the same palette over and over again, I probably wouldn't like it. So I will say that this is something that I used almost every day when I got it, because it was better than the other palettes that I had. And so I used it a lot, and I still reach for it every now and again. And you can tell by the way this looks that I reached for this a lot. I've hit pan. I broke a few, but I really like this. This is the Ray Ray palette that was in a collab with BH Cosmetics, and I liked it because it had the shadows across here, and then you also had contouring here and highlights here, and you still got a nice mirror. So I think this is good for every day. It had like good colors and good neutrals. If you didn't want to add any pops of color, you could just do the neutral shades, and you already had your highlight and your contour if you wanted. So this was a good everyday palette. It had everything all in one. So I would say that this would be a good everyday palette. My next question is colorful. That's like every palette I have, except for the matte one that I showed you. But I think I said my fave colorful. I had to think, and I've only used it a couple of times, but I love the colors in here. This is the Cake palette, and this is from Glamlight Cosmetics, and I was drawn to it because of the uniqueness of this. It looks like you have cake coming out of the oven, and then you take that part out and you have your cake. Isn't this cute? And wait till you see these colors. I love them. Wow. When I saw this, I was like, oh, I just really, really want this palette. And this one was $30, I believe. I mean, it has some shimmers. It has mattes. It has every color of the rainbow. It even has a neutral shade that you could use, a couple here and here. And you can mix them or use them lightly if you just want to use them like transition shades. And I love this. It has a mirror. The only thing I will say is it's hard to hold because it's chunky. And, you know, normally when I'm holding a palette like this and the mirror's up here, it's kind of hard to hold it sideways like a book. That's the only thing, but I always have another mirror in my hand when I'm using this one, and I just use the big palette for when I'm done to make sure I like everything. But I love this. I think this is my favorite colorful. It is my favorite colorful palette. It is. All right. So moving on to the next question, the smallest palette. Okay, now if you watch me, you know that I left what was that, Ipsy, because of the small sample sizes that I kept getting. And all of those, I put them in this Ziploc bag, and I never reach for this, ever. I forget it's there. And we recently got this palette with, I believe it was in my base box. I'm not for sure, but with BoxyCharm, I believe this was in my base box. And it's called Photo Edit Eyeshadow Trio by Smashbox, and it's in the trio of shades called Holy Crop. I was not pleased. This is smaller than these 9-pan. It's tiny, and it's not something that I'm going to reach for. I'm trying to open it. That's everything. It's hard for me to open. There's no mirror. And these colors to me look more fall than spring. And so I just thought it was odd that we just got this in our BoxyCharm May box. So this is the smallest one. It's probably one I may pass on to someone because I'm not going to use it. I really don't think I am. I'm just going to forget. I forget about those all the time. Okay, moving on. Of course, smallest, now largest. I had a tie. And when I was watching Jess Peachy D, she was saying that everyone was pulling out the same brand, and that is the Morphe palette that has these large pans in the middle. And this is the 39S. Is that right? 39S? Yes, 39S. And as you can see, I love this palette. When I'm doing some pinky purples, I'm reaching for this one. So I really love this. And it has a little bit of everything. It has some nudes in here. It has a black. Doesn't have a white, but I mean, there's lots of shimmers there. So I think this is my largest, but I wanted to look at this other one. Give me a second. It's big. I have to pull it out. Okay. Here it is. This is the Sunday palette, Banana Split palette. I'm sorry, the Banana Split palette by Sugary Cosmetics. So let's compare them. Okay. Well, it is bigger. I don't think it has anywhere near the same number of shades. Let's check it out. Okay, here we go. So these are the shades for the Sugary Cosmetics, and they're all around different toppings for ice creams. Like there's cotton candy, here's cheesecake, different flavors. Orange, green tea, mint, pistachio. So I really like this palette. I've used it a couple of times, but it's kind of competing with my cake palette for what my favorite colorful palettes are. And Morphe definitely had way more shadows. I'm trying to see if I can hold this up together. Let's see. Can't even get them in. Yeah. So even though this is big in size, it's not bigger as far as the actual number of shades that it holds. That's crazy that they're like, you can't even see me. All right, so the Morphe one is still the biggest. Even though this is large, it doesn't have as many shades. This has many, many more shades. So I guess I have to say, Morphe it is. All right, we are almost done. Let me make sure I've hit everything. Yes, the next one is the best memory. So the best memory palette that I chose, when I really started getting into makeup, I found out about Shop Hush, and I was always on that website and sharing my looks and getting ideas from other people. If anybody was ever on there, you know, it was kind of like an app. You could shop on there, you could earn points. And we fell in love with Bad Habit. I got my sister into it, and we were always on there. One second. Sorry, y'all know my throat. Sorry. All right, so here is the Pretty Poison palette by Bad Habit, and there were so many. Jump, go ahead, come on, jump. All right, I don't know how long he's gonna stay there. Let me hurry. All right, so I was saying Bad Habit was one of the companies, I believe, that had like all these palettes that they duped of other ones, and then they finally came out with their own palette, and it was this one, Pretty Poison. And this was my purpley pinky go-to before I got the 39S. The reason why this brings back good memories is because we were so just overjoyed. We couldn't wait for this palette to drop, because we all just love Bad Habit. And so when the palette dropped, I remember that was my first time sitting up, waiting, watching the clock, waiting for the website to drop the palette so that we could purchase it. And it took like an extra day or something like that. So whenever it finally, you know, opened up, I purchased 4. So my sister, my mom, and my second mom, my sister's mom, we all have this palette. I bought 4 of them. So all of us have this, and all of us will every now and again come out the house going somewhere and going, I used the Pretty Poison palette. And so we just love these. We were all of us like purple and pink, and we were just so we were I can't even think of the word. We were excited. We were just really loved Bad Habit, and they dropped their own palette, and we were like, yes. So that's why this brings back so many memories. And then the next memory is that Bad Habit shut down, Shop Hush shut down, and we haven't heard from either one again. So that's how that one ended. But I still love to reach for that every now and again. All right, worth the hype for me, of course, the Cake palette. When they said, well, when it first came out, everybody was online talking about the palette and reviewing it and doing tutorials. And then I went online and I finally said, you know, I'm going to purchase this. And it was like, it's a back order. You're not going to get it till the end of June. And I went ahead and paid for it anyway. And I got it like within a week, which was really weird. But anyway, I think it's worth the hype. I saw, oh, I can't think of her name. Oh, she always does the indie palettes on YouTube, and she talks about, you know, up and coming ones, and I think she has an indie spotlight. She was another one who was like, you have to get this palette. So yes, that one was worth the hype. Not worth the hype, I could not really think of one. Yes I can. Where is it? This palette right here, y'all, not worth the hype at all. When this palette first showed up and everybody was saying, oh my gosh, BoxyCharm has their own palette, it's coming out. All of the influencers, those who did the sneak peeks and the, you know, the spoils, oh, BoxyCharm's going to have their own palette. And then we found out everybody was going to be able to get it. And, you know, we were getting 2 palettes. So you're going to get this palette and you're getting Box. This was about as great as it was for this palette, opening up and seeing the colors. After that, it was just, that was it. They don't perform very well. Trying to do a look with this is like trying to, I don't know, trying to make your kid eat vegetables that they don't like. I mean, you are doing everything. You're like doing bribes. You're like, you can, after this, you can do that. And I mean, I was like, come on, y'all have to work together. Y'all, you are in the same palette. This color goes with this. Y'all can be together. You're next to each other in the palette. You could be next to each other on my eyes. No, they said no. We're not going to do it. This look right here, 45 minutes. I have 3 colors. 3 on my eyes. 3. 45 minutes. I had to keep stopping, going back, pat this on. It was coming off. There's fallout. I love BoxyCharm, but not. This is going back in the back of the closet. I happened to pull it out, and I was like, oh, I haven't used that. I should try it. It's going back in the closet, in the back, way in the back of the closet. Not worth the hype. Okay, moving on. Favorite palette from a favorite brand. Okay. This is not an eyeshadow palette, but it's still a palette, so I snuck it in there, so don't sue me. This is a blush palette. This is my favorite palette. It's from Juvia's. It is the Saharan Blush Volume 2. I love this. Oh, I don't have to fold it back because there's no mirror. But this is, you can see, I've used it a lot. I mixed these together. This is my favorite, well, it was. I still like it though. My favorite pink highlighter. This one is, it's kind of like gold with pink shift in it. And then there's a neutral blush. I don't really use this one that much. I might use it for eyeshadow. And then this is a matte. And I didn't use this for a while. I only used these 4. And then one day I said, I'm going to try it. Love it. This is really nice. And you can use it on your eyes. So that way it kind of still fits in with the category. It is a palette. It's a blush palette, but this is my favorite. This is my favorite palette. I will reach for this before everything else. And then if I do reach for something and I'm having trouble finding it and I grab this one, then I just go ahead and use this one. So yes, this is my favorite. All right. And who does not like Juvia's? Like, who doesn't? All right. Last one, y'all. Most used. Well, you already saw it. I can hold it up one more time. Figure out what I did with it. Here it is. Oh, sorry, Oreo. Oh, wait. I kicked the dog. He's going to report me, y'all. It was a mistake. I didn't mean it. I'm so sorry. I didn't know he was on the floor. He's like, yeah, right, Mom. This is like, it's late. And usually we're going to sleep. And so he's like, why aren't you in bed? Because I'm doing a video. That's why. Okay, you got to go. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. I messed up my video, y'all. I hit the wrong button while trying to pick up the dog because I kicked him by mistake. I thought he was asleep. And next thing I know, he was under my feet. So, sorry, Oreo. I know. So, the last one was my most used palette, which is my Ray Ray collab with BH Cosmetics. And I mean, you see I've hit pan. I've lost some of these. It's dirty. I mean, it's used. It's most used. So you saw that earlier. So that was just a given for that category. And that's the end of the palette tag. So if you are watching and you are a makeup artist or an influencer, you just have your YouTube channel, you just love makeup like I love makeup, tag yourself, go right ahead, and then let me know in the comments, because then I'll watch your palette tag. And as I'm getting ready for bed, everyone, I'm going to keep everyone in prayer, praying about our pandemic, which is still happening, still out there, praying for everyone that they stay safe, that they stay healthy, and also praying for all of the people who are out protesting. I pray for safety over their lives. I pray for endurance to continue to march and to stay in as long as it is nonviolent. And I do thank you all for watching this video and learning a little bit more about me through my palette. And again, if you have if you like what you saw, put some comments down. Let me know if you're going to do a palette tag or what your favorite palettes are. And then also, if you've been with me this long, even after I kicked my dog by mistake, you're still here, then subscribe. Oreo approves. He said it was an accident. So subscribe and make sure you hit that bell so that you will know when my next video is ready to upload. And I said my next video was going to be my unboxing of BoxyCharm, which should be coming very, very soon, but I decided to jump in and do this palette tag. So now that I've done with that, look for me. I'm going to be doing a BoxyCharm. I hope it's not too far into the month, but it is the 7th. It should be here soon, so make sure you're here with me when I unbox, because guess what? Guess what? There's gonna be a giveaway. That's right. I'm gonna have a giveaway, and I'm gonna tell you all about it during the unboxings. So ladies, wherever you are, whether it's day or night, wherever you are, I hope that you're having a good, blessed day and or evening. And ladies, don't forget to pray and don't forget to slay. Good night, ladies.